learn about Soundtrap. So what I did is I went on my browser on my computer and I went to soundtrap.com. So if you're doing this on mobile or tablet, it's going to look a little bit different, but you're still going to have all the same buttons and features. So what I'm going to start with here is a drum track. Now you can go to add new track, add drum and beats, and you can create your own drum beats within that tool. I'm not going to do that though for this. I'm actually going to use one of their preset loops. So I'm going to close out of this and go to the little music note here that's in a purple circle. Click that. Now I'm going to look at drums here and see what kind of drums they have. So there's a lot to pick from for sure. I'm going to look at some basic rock drums. And if you click the play button, it's going to play it for you. That sounds pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to click this and it's going to automatically pop up in here. Now, if I want to make this longer, if I go to the top right corner, I can just drag it over and make a loop. And it's going to automatically repeat if this purple thing's highlighted. I can unclick it and it won't loop that section anymore, or I can drag this to wherever I want to loop. So that's how you like keep things playing over and over to play over top of it. Cool. So I have my drum beat. Now I'm going to go to add new, I'm going to get this off my screen so I have room, okay? And I'm going to add new track. And I can add a bunch of different kinds of stuff. I can add synthesizer strings, all of this stuff I can add in with my keyboard digitally, which is pretty cool. You can also record your guitar and your voice using the microphone of your computer or your phone, or if you are super fancy, you can have an audio input box where you can plug your guitar or your bass directly into the computer. So those are pretty handy to have, but I'm just gonna play this like that doesn't exist. So I'm going to go to voice and microphone, and then it wants me to allow access to my microphone. Now, you see, I can see the thing moving there on the master volume. I'm going to go so you all can hear what I'm singing, and like, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to hear the drum beat because that'll bleed into my feed. The way you get it to not bleed in is to be doing this with headphones on, like I mentioned earlier. Then your drums won't be mixed into your track, so you can't isolate them out. Sorry if I used too much jargon there. All right, so now my output right now, I'm going to turn it to audio box. So that just made the sound of the drums go to my head and not outside where y'all can hear it. Now I'm going to grab my guitar. And I'm going to do one of my droning chord shapes. So I'm going to pick the A chord that we went over in class. All right, so I figured out my pattern. Now I'm going to record it. So I'm going to stop the thing from playing. And I'm going to make sure that my cursor, my purple cursor, is at the beginning of this track line here. And so my goal is going to be create this purple area that's on repeat. I'm going to create a guitar line that fits within the 4 there. So I'm going to start recording, and you can go here. You definitely want to record with a metronome so you can hear the beat in your head. And this says I have 2 bars to count in, so that's cool. So I'll go, I'm using headphones. Yes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there's my riff. The play button, fast forward, stop, all that stuff's at the bottom. Now you notice it's pretty quiet. So I can tweak that. I can turn up the volume here and turn the drums down. Cool. So it's on beat. It's solid. Now I'm going to take what I've already played and I'm going to loop it just like I did with the drums here. So I'm going to loop this over 4 more. So it's four frets, and I'm going to loop this one over. Okay. And then I'm going to add new track, and I'm going to play a little riff over top of it. Now you can do this using your guitar and just do like single notes. That always sounds really cool. Or you can actually go in and do a synth, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So first I'm going to record this line, and I've got to put this sound back in my headphones again. All right, and I know that I'm in the key of A, so I can play an A note and find somewhere cool to go with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 12th fret of the A string, because I know that's an A note, okay? All right, so I'm just going to kind of mess around and make something up. Here we go. And start recording. Okay, so I messed up, which is okay. Let's have a listen. All right, I'm going to turn it up because I know I'm probably not going to be able to hear it well. Here we go. This is one thing that's cool about recording, is if you screw up, you can take it out. Okay, so I messed up. Ha! It recorded it. Cool. All right, so I noticed that there was a note in here that was wrong. Now, I can just re-record that, which, you know, I would normally do, but I just, for the sake of showing you all, I want to show you that you can take pieces out that don't fit, okay? So I'm going to play it again and pay attention to where that note is. It's this one right here, okay? So I'm going to put my cursor right before that sound wave starts. And I'm going to make sure this track is selected. I'm going to right click it and click split region. On my keyboard, I can also use a shortcut command, that command E. But I'm going to click it here. And I'm going to make sure that I get that whole little bit out. So it was right here, this little section. And I'm going to right click that and click split region. And then I can just delete this. Okay, so I can go in and record over top of it, or maybe I'll just want to leave it out. Let's listen. Cool. So that worked. And then I also have that extra little bit on the end of this that's got like me talking, right? This wave here. So I can cut that out just by taking this and dragging it back, and it cuts it out. So pretty cool, easy thing to do. All right, so now I have this little section here that I want to record over. So what I'd have to do here is add new track, go to voice and microphone. It's going to be the same dealio, and I just got to figure out what note I wanted to play. And so I'm just going to record it here, and I'll play over top of it when that part comes in. All right, so I'm going to switch my headphones now so the headphone part doesn't bleed in. You don't have to do this. It's just because I'm recording this video for you that I have to keep switching, but here we go. what I'm doing. Jesus, there. Okay. So I got it in. Now I'm going to do this, and now I've got this extra little layer. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so the volumes match. The wave file is actually a little bit bigger, so I might have been strumming that higher, so I might need to take that down just a little bit. Okay. And now let's see what they sound like together. It fits better, okay? So I just replaced the note with one that actually works. All right, so I've got a cool little interlude thing happening. And now what if I want to add some keys or something? Well, let's find out. I'm going to go back here. Actually, we're going to let the keys come in after. We'll let it build up, okay? I have that guitar part. Now we'll add key part. So each time I add a new thing, I add a new track, right? And this one's going to be piano and keyboards. And now I can use my keyboard as an actual tool. Okay, to use here. And we can scroll through these different things to change the sounds. I kind of like that one. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that I'm staying organized as I'm doing this. Okay, so the first thing is I have a guitar here. It says mic, but it's actually my main guitar riff or guitar chords. Okay, and then this one is lead guitar, and we'll just call it 1. And then this is lead guitar 1 as well. Okay. And then we have Laura's Rhodes, which I'm like, what is that? It's the freaking keyboard. Okay, but there's a sign that says it's a keyboard. I think you can also change these signs. No, you can't. Okay, that's fine. All right, so with keyboard, I need to find A. So I know the C is here. C, B, A. A is C, B, A, N. All right, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of keyboard over this. I'm gonna crank it up. And this is actually not gonna get in the microphone. I don't have to worry about switching it for y'all because it's a keyboard in the computer. And here we go. I need to make sure that the record button is off on this so I don't record over it, and the record button is on for keyboard. And now I'm gonna record. Okay, so you'll notice that I played a wrong note in there. And that's cool because we're using a MIDI keyboard and we can actually go in here and fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here and let's play it and find out where that wrong note is. Alright, so that little nasty bugger's right there. I can just drag... Oh, let me zoom in a little bit. Where'd it go? think my keyboard's dying. This is a great time for this to happen. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna move it here and see what happens. Let's play it. Ooh, I liked where that went. Okay. Now, if I wanted to come in here and add any other notes, I could. I can just right-click it. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I double-clicked it, and it added more notes. So you could do it like this, too. So it's an interesting thing, MIDI. It's an interesting thing. Now I'm going to turn my keyboard volume down. There we go. All right, I've got a melody line, okay? So same deal, like the thing is I can cut this up and put this wherever I want, but I want you all to pay attention to where you are at on a measure. So, excuse me, if I click right here, right, this says that this thing starts on the 5th measure, all right, and then it ends right before the 9th measure. So I have all this space beforehand. I'm going to clip this down so it's a tiny little thing. And then I'm going to actually go in and split this region so that's its own thing. Now this riff starts halfway through the measure. And I want to keep it so this thing starts on a measure and not like cut all the way early before that. Just in this case where it's MIDI. Now when you're recording with a microphone, if you have silence at the beginning, you should clip these parts out. So you don't have that extra noise on the thing. And it's super helpful because I have like one of those trackpad mouse things. So I'm just going to tuck that all the way up to the edge here so you don't pick up any of that extra outside microphone noise on that lead guitar. Cool. So that's all trimmed up pretty. And now we have this keyboard part. Well, what I'm going to do is I have this extra loop right here. And so I don't really do I even like that last part? Maybe I do. Let's see. Take the metronome off. All right, so I want to go straight back into this same piano riff. I'm going to make sure this section's highlighted. I'm going to right click it and copy it. Or you can hit Control C, okay? And then I'm going to make sure that this line is highlighted, not these, because it will paste it into that line. I'm going to make sure keyboard is highlighted. I'm going to right click and hit paste. And it's going to paste it right after where that cursor is. So now let's see what it sounds like right after that spot. Perfect. Cool. It fit right in there. So making sure, like, one, it's super crucial that you play in the right time. If you don't, then it's hard to just kind of cut and paste and move. Like, you can operate like that, but it's way easier if you just play in time first. And so it's crucial that whenever you're playing, that you're using that click track, that metronome, and trying to sync in with that beat. The 1, 2, 3, 4, hit 2, 3, 4, hit 2, 3, 4. Now I already know that this song is in the key of A major because that was the chord that I'm kind of moving around here. So I'm going to go ahead and click A major. And then if I brought in any loop samples too to put in with this, major scale, and then it tells me C, power chord C. Let's see if there's anything that says A. So in that case, if something said A, I could drag it over and it would be in the right key. C might not be too far off. Ooh, but I don't want that sound. Okay, but anyway, you can kind of play with the loops and see what that is. So something else I want to touch on. So this, I've got like my main intro part. And so I want to add more things. And this is where people like start to screw up. They end up adding so many layers to the intro or to the verse and like getting that so beefy that they don't know where to go whenever it's time to switch to the chorus, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and mute my main guitar chords, my lead guitar, and all the stuff, okay? Just so I have the drums to listen to. I'm gonna play those drums. All right, so I had drums rock 13. So I'm gonna go to my loops, go to drums, and I'm gonna find drums rock, okay? Because there's gonna be something in that collection that's going to be another like evolution of this drum loop. Okay, so now that I remember what that sounds like, I'm gonna play one of these drum loops and see what's up. Because we played 13, so let's go to 14. I think I like 14. All right, so I'm gonna make sure my cursor's in the right spot, get it on the end there, click drums 14, or just drag it over and bring that loop over, okay? So that's pretty rad. I have a new drum loop. Let's see what it sounds like transitioning from that drum loop to the next. Oh shit, I have the loop thing clicked so it didn't transition. Cool. That's really cool. Okay, so there's other things that I can do too to be like, all right, well that sounds cool, but I need a fill. Okay, let me see if there's like a rock drum fill that I could put in there. It's 3 fill. All right, let's mess with that. So I'm gonna take this fill. Oh, what's happening? I shouldn't have clicked it. All right, it's putting it in a different spot. That's all right. All right, I liked that like ending part, so I'm just gonna take. Oh shit! Don't do that. All right, so I messed up, and I'm gonna undo, and that way it's back to normal. Undo is your friend. All right, I have this. No, I don't want to fade it. All right, let me cheat this way. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I'm just gonna cheat and show you here. So I'm gonna highlight it and I'm gonna split region, so this part's separate, and I'm gonna bring this up here to see if it won't let me. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna scoot this over here. It's fine. I'm gonna put this here and see if this works transitioning from this one to this one. It's not bad. It's not bad, but I think what I'm going to do is fade it a little bit so the intro to it isn't as harsh. And so to fade something, you take the top corner, you see how there's like a little circle there, you click that and you drag it over. And now I'm going to play it and see if that helped. Oh, it was too much. Okay. Don't like it. Let me add just that da 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 da. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to crop this. Oh god, I'm using logic codes. Oh, okay. Sorry. Split region. Delete this biatch. Scoot it up here. Oh no, I'm not scooting. Okay, and scooting this over, and that's just one measure, and maybe it's not going to be so intense. Let's find out. Okay, that works. There we go. So I found my drum fill and I just moved it over. You're gonna have to listen to a lot of different drums if you want to kind of incorporate those loop drum and fills. Or if you want to get frisky, you can go to add new track, click drum and beats, and make your own beat using that tool. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So now I'm into a chorus and it's picking up a lot. It's pretty short right now compared to the verse, which I don't hate. But now I need to add some more guitar and stuff and make it more interesting. So this time I'm actually going to pick up my bass and do something with the bass. So let me grab that and plug it in. Okay, so here's the deal. I am in my studio. I am not plugged into the computer. I'm just using a microphone. And so I'm going to blast shit out of my bass because it's the only way it's going to pick it up. I don't want it to peak the mic, but hopefully it'll grab it, okay? All right, so I'm in A, so I'm going to play the droning effect on the bass. I'm going to do open A and kind of move up the neck into different spots. So what I'm going to do is practice first. I'm going to grab my little looper thingy, pull it over. Oh, this drum loop's weird. Okay, that'll work. And did you see how it wasn't all the way up to the measure? If it starts to do that, it might kind of screw you up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to play this. That's probably a little extra. Okay, let's mess with it. So I'm gonna go to add new track. I'm gonna go to voice and microphone. I'm going to switch my thing so it's in my headphones again, and I'm gonna start recording. I'm gonna make sure that metronome is on. Okay. Let's see if it worked. It did work. All right, so you see at the end, it kind of clipped it. So I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to grab that little edge there and just kind of tuck it up back in on itself. See, you can get in really small. And you see where that area, that note ends and the other one begins. I'm just going to clip that. And now we have it. Okay. So there's probably a really stark difference between these two things, right? One was kind of slower and the other one kicked it up a notch with that groovy bass line. Oh, I should unmute this stuff. They're like totally different songs, but that's okay. So the thing, and I'm not going to make this video super long, but the thing that I can do is I can incorporate the same sounding keyboard, the same guitar, like the same chords I was playing, because I did the A string on the bass, and like start to layer those things together. So even though the tone shifted, bringing in those pieces that are the same into different parts of the song create unity. But when you add in little like surprise things like an interesting bass line or a weird sounding synth, it makes your song more interesting, and people don't get as bored listening to it, right? You don't want a song to sound the same the whole way through, but yet you still want some uniformity. So this song still definitely needs some work to create some uniformity, but I wanted to show you how to create multiple parts of a song and make it your own. This is like got the reverb on it from the computer mic enhancer. Do-it-yourself rap, detuner, dizzy, dry. Whoa. I am using, oh no, I'm not using headphones. Okay, maybe that's why there's an echo. There we go. Maybe that's why there's an echo, because I can hear myself reflected in the speakers, and that makes a lot more sense. Okay, anyway. So what I want you to do is think about the structure of your song, right? So I had a verse here. If my verse is going to repeat, I can just like drag it up and highlight all the things and then hit Control C, and then, or hit right click and copy, and I can just move my cursor to where the next part of the song is. And I can't right now because it's like too far out, so I got to zoom in on it and move it right there. And then I can hit paste, and oh, I got it. Okay, so I can hit paste and I can do it all, but I have to have it highlighted. Let me see if this works. It works in other DAWs, but maybe not Soundtrap. Okay, so it looks like you have to loop them like one at a time, which is okay. So I'm going to copy that, or I cut it, whoops. Control Z is your friend, or undo. I'm going to copy that and then scroll over and move my cursor and hit paste, or Control V. It went on the wrong thing. That's fine. I scooted it up. And same deal. This one, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So something to think about is like, what is the structure of the song that you want? Do you want verse, chorus, verse? Do you want chorus, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge? Like, those are things to consider to build out your structure. So start with the foundation of like some simple parts and figure out how long you want each thing to be. Figure out how many beats per measure you want it to be, and really build out the structure of your song first, and then go back and build and add on to each part to make it sound full and uniform. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I hope it made sense, and hopefully it's not too crazy long that you're not bored to tears. But enjoy using Soundtrap and really utilize those extra tutorials if you have more questions through Soundtrap's website. All right, have fun with it, y'all.